Alright, tonight I'm working on the Gladiator, not the GTI, thankfully. The Gladiator is much easier to work on, of course. I am doing an intake on it because I didn't like the original intake on the Gladiator. It's a little bulky, although it is very quiet. We'll see how this aftermarket intake system sounds. It was only $80, so I couldn't resist. So we'll see how it works. So I've already started the process of removing the original intake, and so these are just pressed in with some rubber grommets, and then there's a bolt here, and then you come back around to the front, and there's this bolt. You take this off of the original intake tube, and then this is a 5/16 bolt, or whatever you want to call it. It's a hose clamp ring, and then you unplug this, and then there's a whole bunch of plastic stuff that comes down into there to make it quieter. And I've heard a couple of intakes on these trucks before, and I didn't really care for how loud they were. So I'm hoping that I don't have the same experience on my truck, but I probably will. And I'll probably keep it because it's better than this bulky thing. So you can see the original and the aftermarket. And this intake has a filter, and I mean the opening of it is so big you could probably fit a small baby in there or whatever. Yeah, it's unnecessarily large, but still pretty neat. And has this super smooth air intake adapter. So you mount your air filter to that, and hopefully the air will smooth out over this smooth surface and will fly into your intake at such a fast rate that you'll gain horsepower. Or not, probably not. So this is the back side of the original intake, it's nice because it kind of fits around the hood and whatever, and you get some air going in there that's blocked off by the hot engine bay. But it's just very bulky. It just takes up a lot of space in the engine bay compared to what you get here. And yeah, it's probably going to be a lot louder, but I think it's going to perform better and feel better overall. So that's it. I did have a K&N air filter, and it came out of the bag covered in oil, and so it's just been sucking up dirt, and it's just completely filthy, and it hadn't been in there that long. So I'm going to start putting the aftermarket intake in, and I'll take it for a test drive tomorrow and see how it works. Now I'm going to turn on my fan because it's way too hot. Yes. Much better. Alright, I'm making progress. We've got this heat shield installed, and there's a little hole here for another mounting spot, and I believe it's for right here, so you can really see that. Yeah, I guess I should probably read the instructions, but I'm a man, so who does that? I heard some people complaining about this here, and it's just a little rubber grommet, and with a little WD-40 this sensor poked right in and it's nice and secure, so I don't see an issue there. Another thing I ran into, which is very minor, is this. They give you a new little silicone coupler here, whatever I think they're called, couplers, I don't know. But one of these silicone thingies, and the clamps they give you don't fit on this end, so I just used the original hose clamp, so no big deal there. And then these should be okay. So next thing I'm doing is mounting this and then putting the air filter in, and that should be done. Hopefully I don't run into any stupid problems. And unfortunately, while it was being shipped, it got all scratched up, but who cares? It's not a show car. Right, so I got everything put back together, and it was pretty straightforward. This air filter is huge, which is kind of cool, but also totally unnecessary. And then you got one mounting spot here, and then below you have a couple rubber grommets. There's like these little pegs. There's these little pegs that you bolt on. You can see the top of the bolts there. Lots of very simple stuff for most people. So I don't bother to go over that kind of stuff, but if you have questions, you can just ask, and I'd be happy to take things apart to show you, especially if it's something simple like this. But everything fit okay. This is pretty stretched, so I imagine over time when this rubber breaks down that you might get some cracks and some air leaking through there, but not a big deal because it's just going to be a little dirt, but nothing major, I don't think. Since you don't have a mass air sensor, it won't mess anything up. And this is just going to be your intake temperature sensor. And so I got all this bolted down, so it's all in there pretty good, nice and sturdy. It looks pretty decent too. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I just wish, one of these T-bolt clamps would have worked for this one, but whatever, doesn't matter. Like I said earlier, it's not a show car or truck, and hopefully it's not too loud. I'm gonna go drive it and see how it does. Remember, this one was only $80 on Amazon, so I'll share that link with you in the description if you feel like being cheap, like me, as always. Sometimes you get a great deal, and sometimes you regret not spending the money. But I'll take the chance on something simple like an intake. And here's the old one. It looks sad, but who knows, maybe I'll go back to it if I don't like the noise out of the other intake. Okay, that's all I have for you guys tonight on the Gladiator. And who knows what I'll be getting into next. Maybe something GTI, maybe I'll sell the GTI, get something else. Maybe I'll sell the Gladiator, probably not. And I probably won't sell the GTI either, but who knows? Stay tuned. We'll see what I get into next. So I wanted to give you guys a little update. Got everything installed and have been driving this around for a couple weeks now, and today I'm taking it back out and putting the original intake back in because it's just too dang noisy. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting it to be that loud, but sometimes I take calls in the truck and people can't hear me and I can't really accelerate because it's too dang loud. So I'm going back to the original intake until maybe I can find another one that has the cone filter closed in. So I think that will make a big difference if this whole thing was sealed, kind of like the original intake. But the original intake I already have a K&N air filter in it, so it's not too bad, and it's much quieter. So if you don't want noise, I don't recommend one of these style intakes. It also rubs a little bit right here.